welcome to the open studio for Zodiac inspired brooms. We are on to the 11th one in the series, which is Cancer, which are my sons, and they're born on the 4th of July, so we're kind of going a little off script if you've been following me with a red, white, and blue theme. You'll see where we're going with that and why. So in this series, I am going to be making in front of you a hand broom. It is not a tutorial. It is a demo. If you need further instruction, though I always say the best place to learn is with a in-person teacher. If you're part of my broom closet, link is up or down, depending where you're watching this on. Then in the broom closet, I have been gathering a list of people who do classes that are locally. If that doesn't work for you, I do have the Broom Witch Academy. But think about this as more as a demo to get you inspired. So if you've been making a while, it just might inspire you to do something new. And you might pick up a trick or tip or two. But it's just fun. So we're just here. We're going to be chatting about the season of Cancer and making a hand broom. So let's start with that. Usually I like to do colors that are inspired by the season we're in. So Cancer is actually silver because it's associated with the moon, so very silvery. I don't have silver broom corn. I do have black. But Cancers are also my sons, so that's what I'm doing. I'm actually going to make a hand broom that is kind of inspired by them and a little bit of their Cancer nature. So if that way you're doing a hawk's tail broom, I also usually like to do things with numbers. The numbers associated with Cancer is 13. So normally I would say, oh, it's associated 6 is 5. Let's do that many sections. We're not doing 13 sections. So I am going to do 3 on each, 1 in the middle. We're going to do 7 sections. So I always like to take one section out first when I'm doing an odd amount, and then divide evenly the rest. So I just need 6. Of course, that gives me 3, which is odd again. So doing my best here to make it all even like. Should have gone with something else. Jen, you're doing a hawk tail. So if I'm doing a hawk tail and I want, what did I say, 3 on each side, so 6, I'm actually dividing by 3. And you'll see why in a moment as we build it. So I'm going to divide by 3 because those 3 are each going to get divided again, giving me the amount I need. I also feel this is too much for what I need, so I'm taking a pinch off. And again, you'll see as we go, because we're going to have middles in there. All right, I usually, here, why am I stopping? To tell you something. I usually like a hand grip. When I'm doing any hand broom, I want to be able to make sure I grip my hand. I'm going to be sneaking some of this, not all of this, inside the middle. So with that being said, I'm going to take not quite a halfway, but a good third or more away. Okay, taking a thumb for my first section, and then breaking this into 3. So complicated. I wanted this to be a short video. Okay. All week, as I've been preparing for this, in my mind, I had a turkey wing whisk in my head. So I was going over how I was going to do that instead of how I was going to do this. So with that being said, I'm going to take a pinch of blue, a little bit more my thumb, pinch of red. And that's probably equal or balanced, a little bit more. I might not use all this. We shall see. Okay, get that done. To make my life easier, so this is 16 inches. I had to buy some processed corn that was 16. This is probably 17 because that's usually how I would dye it. I'm gonna make these even. There's my clippers. I don't know. These scissors should work. We'll see. These are new. Things that would make your life easier when you're cutting. An elastic, rubber band. I know I cut some of it already. Eek. I'll keep it all together. Okay. Tips together. I don't think I'm really gonna like these scissors for this purposes. No, I do not like. Oh. Ah, there they are. I love garden clippers. I do have a tools video out that you can go to, and in that video area, there is also a PDF to the tools I use. I'm also now like an Amazon influencer. I made an Amazon storefront so you all could easily just link up to the tools and the supplies I use off of Amazon. So links are somewhere in the bio as usual. Oh, this is already 16. We are good. Okay, first one. I'm gonna get a little bit of blue, a little bit of red. So when the boys are little, they would always, I didn't match. They were not identical, right? So I didn't have to worry about not knowing who was who. So some people were like, which one is that one? And I was like, okay. I mean, they really, yeah, nothing alike. So I take my colored elastic rubber band, and then I'm placing broom corn around. I'm going to take a pinch from each of these so I have enough to go around. Cancers have this hard shell on the outside, and then they kind of have this mushy stuff inside. So that's where I'm going here. I did this with the Scorpio one, but it was a turkey wing. It was purple inside. So a combination of red and blue. And yeah, so you'll see just a little, be so cute. Okay. Another elastic, just kind of hold that. Elastics are your friends. I think it's the most important tool. Okay, this is just something I bought at Harbor Freight recently. I thought it'd be great. I think it's good when I'm doing that type of stuff. I'm not liking it for this type of stuff. All right. Doing black. Closest thing I have to silver. Everyone starts their beginning a little differently. This is how I start mine. I like about a hand width. And then I like to do knot magic, so I'm going to leave a little tail there. So we said 13. 1 and 3 is 4. So let's go with 4. Okay. So I'm going to do 1. 1 would be the one I've already tied, so that would have been 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to tie off. So I should have tied off on 3. We're going to make this one a little sturdier though. And yes, I tie off. Why do I tie off? Because I gab, I talk, and I stop. So it's good to tie off. So we're going to travel up there. So let's make our next. I'm going to have one side red, one side blue, and see in the middle, they come together with the both colors. That's the plan. And now that I decided on 4, we're dividing again. Change as you go. Who cares? Okay. So each side will have 4. Yeah. Nice and balanced. Their birthday is the 4th, so that works for me. I get to do this however I want. Pinch of the blue. Let's put an elastic on it. And this just helps you trying to hold on to everything. And because I tied off, I have my hands to do all of this. That's why I do what I do, how I do it. Make sense? Yeah. All right. So Cancers, they're hard shells outside, their inner mushiness inside. So Cancers are ruled by the moon. Did we mention that? So they're known to be sensitive. But I hate that like as a detriment or as a fault. I think it's also, they're sensitive to the world around them. They're sensitive to your needs. They can be taken advantage of that way, and then they can put their shells up too much. Cancers, we got to remember growth is you got to shed that outer shell, grow, build a new shell. Okay, so we have our blue for one side. Let's do our red for the other side. So where is Cancer in your chart? Are you a Cancer? Do you have a Cancer in your family? Be gentle with them. No, they are intuitive. They're water signs. They are cardinal water, right? They're the beginning of summer. So cardinal like snap, right? Like action. The beginning of summer, the start of summer. It's the start. Very action orientated. All right. See where I move that. I like to tuck my string in the middle. A little tail. I could cut that off, but the tail for me could be a little inner knot magic. I could do that now or later. I could right now take all that, bundle up in an elastic, and I recommend if you are new to do that, I will take this kind of down, putting the elastic down, moving off the middle elastics, because I want this kind of merge into each other. Oop, one out. All right, that's nice and tight. I want that to kind of merge. You can see some red, right? You're gonna get some little wispies, some little hints. I'm done. All right, so we're doing our jump. Make sure that's, you want to see the jump. There we go. So this side we're gonna see the jump. The other side we're not gonna see the jump. Manipulating everything in my hand. Throwing broomcorn all around. If you are interested in the Broom Witch Academy, so this is the demo, right? You're looking at me this way. It's quick, it's easy. This is actually a live first. I'm doing in the broom closet. They get full access that way. And sometimes it's a week or 2 before I put it out to the world on YouTube. The first access is always the broom closet. If you are on the Broom Witch Academy, my videos you're seeing from this way. So you see a little bit more what I'm doing. Okay. Nice and tight. So that was 1, 2, 3. We're going to tie off. Hello, I just did stuff. Can I tell you, it is 8 o'clock and I'm already sweaty. It is going to be a hot day. For you who are experiencing this too, solidarity. Do you experience this more? Oh my God, how do you do it? Stay cool, my friends. Stay cool. Okay. Yeah, so I like it. Just little wispies are coming up. Perfect. Again, divide by 2. Fourth house in the zodiac chart is ruled by the Cancer, i.e. the moon. It is, so what's in your 4th house? That is how you are going to react, relate to home and family. So Cancers can tend to be a bit of home buddies. They can tend to really just like want to develop that home. It's kind of a mothering aspect also. I can one of mine definitely like, whew, the home is his shell, right? Even when he was little, he was ready to go home when he was ready to go home. And now as an adult, all his friends come here, and that my other one I think is good at keeping the home together. Like he is my, I will go mow the lawn, I will go do this kind of guy. I've already divided by 2. So they are different. I always said one was my sun and one was my moon. One has a little bit more Leo, which makes kind of some sense in that. Jen, they're twins. Why don't they have the same chart? Because there was 29 minutes difference between the 2 of them. Yeah, that one that likes to stay at home, he wasn't coming out. We won't go into too much of that. Yeah. But they each have Leo, but one has a little bit more Leo. So that 29 minutes can actually make a huge difference. I get so lost sometimes. I'm good. All right. I might have to grab some more red on that. So this is just hiding in. You can choose as little or as much as the color as you want to, depending on how much you want to have kind of peek out. I'm not going to alternate these. The blue is going to stay on this blue side. The red's going to stay on the red side. Let's get this tightened in again. This could be overkill, but I really don't want a lot of the color coming out as I'm blending the top. So that's why I'm trying to get it nice and tight. Lower before pulling off my other elastics and then pushing them down. Should be one more in there. Ow. There has to be a way to wear your glasses on the top of your head and not rip all your hair off every time you take your glasses off of your head. I did try, yes, people can like, oh, you know, wear the little necklace like thing. I've tried that and it doesn't work for my lifestyle. I don't know how to explain that. Okay. Sometimes you should give it a little. There you go. Okay, up we go. That's gonna bug me. There we go. All right, make sure we're going the right way. So the hawk tail is a bonus in the hand broom course that I do. Just a FYI. We do make that in the bonus section. Okay, so that was my 1, 2, 3. Manipulate. Do our 4th. Okay, so we talked about, where is it in your 4th house? So your 4th house, again, see what is in that, how it influences you. And then see where does Cancer fall? Even if you're not a Cancer, it's going to impact some aspect of your life. So for me, what was my Cancer? I think my Cancer was the 3rd house. Oh my God. But all I know, there's no planets in my Cancer. Which I think is kind of funny. But I am a Scorpio, so water sign. And my mom is a Pisces, so again, water sign. So I think that's kind of, I don't know, like, I think there's something there that my mother was a water sign, had me. I have two little water signs. They've been bigger than both me and my mother for a long time. Right, and just how that family dynamic is. My moon is in the 4th house. So I think that maybe makes me overly motherly. There's certain people that were in my life growing up, or in the kids' life too. And sometimes I think it was as an insult. And then we call the boys, oh, they're mama's boys. And specifically, even like, you know, the one that I said is a little bit more, I was the one that could calm him. Other ones couldn't. But in my mind, a mama's boy can't leave home ever. Like, but needs their mother's approval, can't leave home. Like, hello. They're in their 20s right now. What kid is leaving home? Who can afford to leave home? And I believe in it. If we don't have to have nuclear families, if we can have that extended family where my mom lives with me, my sister's there, my son's there, like, we have enough room, we can spread out. But with all of that, okay, we know we live with a boyfriend, but so I had to move out. But I'm here, right? I'm here every day. Not every day, every work at home day. I'm making sure everyone's okay. And I just, mama's boys. It's such an insult, right? There we take it as an insult. And if you knew my kids, like, if you wouldn't call them mama's boys, right? They're happy to be on their own. They don't come to me, they make decisions on their own. They will come to me to talk things out occasionally. I'm happy to do that. Like, I'm a support system. And I think that some people, there's a difference between being a good support system and making your children totally reliant on you. I didn't make my kids reliant on me. And if you want to say, like, my kids being, I wouldn't even say they're close to me. Like, I mean, they're close, but they're not, like, calling me every day, like, how do I do this? What do I do? Like, that's what I picture a mama's boy. Like, cannot make a decision without their mama. No, my kids just, they like me. I like them. Would I like them to call me every day? Yes. Do I let them have their own life? Yes. Do they call me every day? No. Do they call me once a week? Joshua sometimes, but not all the time. Matt, lives where I work, so I see him. All right, we're talking 1, 2, 3. But yeah, don't, mama's boys is an insult if a child is well adapted and you're just trying to, like, both men and women have masculine aspects and feminine aspects. Just because a male gets along with his mother, and that doesn't make them a mama's boy. I think you need to deal with your issues. Okay, do I pick up all of this? Sorry, picking it up. I'm just picking up the color. I can grab the stuff there. There's this part of me that says, if everything flew, that means it was done, right? Like, you're just done. Sometimes inspiration comes in the middle of everything. We have our blue, but this has kind of got mixed up with some stuff. So thinking, Do I want... Yeah, right? Okay. Boop. Get that out. These are about even. So, here's the question. And then you can let me know in the comments when I decide what I do. Would you have done it this way or that way? All right, so we're going to do the colors on the side. We get the blue and then the red, and the little, you know, it all together in the middle, and then we get the blue and then we get the red. All right. Or do we go true? Oh, blue still has that. Red, it's all on one side. Blue, all on one side. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I've made my decision. But the great thing, if you were, say you're making these for an event, for something, you could do a bunch, right? You could do 3, 4, all different variations on it. But this would be your theme. So if I was getting ready for an event, or I had a bunch of time to make some brooms, which I'm about to be on my little staycation, and on my staycation, I pretend to go to like a spa or a retreat center where I do crafts. And part of that is making a bunch of brooms. So I might get into the zone. Okay, I gotta fix something. I might get into the zone where I make a lot of variations of this. I had to move that. My jump was in the wrong spot, so I'm just moving this back. No, I was just heading the wrong direction. I can't manipulate that one. So I'm just gonna put a little secret in there. Okay, and now my jump will be in the right place. It was in the right place, but I was looking at it wrong, going in the wrong way. Just happens. Especially when you're trying to film and chitty chat. Okay, that's good. All right, so what variation can we do? And keeping that in the red, white, and blue. Or you can pick what other colors would you want to do? What colors speak to you? I mean, if we were Christmas, could one be red, one be green? Lots of options. Okay, whose voice was that? Do you know? That one's not in the right place. Okay. 1, 2. I always like to come down under. There's my 3. Tying off for my 4. So fun. Okay. So Cancer, beginning of summer. That cardinal water, that water that's giving life to everything. Water is very emotional. The moon, our inner self. So they say it is our inner mother and our inner child, the moon. Body area that the moon is associated to is the breast. Why is it funny to say that? I don't know. I'm a grown woman. Breast. I can say breast. On it, which are, I guess, givers or life, right? It's where nutrients comes from. So if water is life, think about the breast. Okay, what are we doing? We want to put in a charm. Oh, did not rip out my hair that time. Yay. I have 2 charms I want to put in. I have the Cancer. So Cancer we mentioned was silver, so that was a no-brainer which one I was going to use. And then I have a silver moon. So, and then I do have my floss threader. So we're good there. And we want a handle, a hanger. That's a handle. You know what? And I had the right color that I wanted all ready to go. I said, I'm going to do black. Was I talking with my hands at any point and the black went flying? That completely can happen. Oh, there it is. So for my hanger, I'm going to do black to go for my twine. For my hanger, I'm going to do brown because I find it's a little bit more rustic looking and I like that. I can change my mind. If this was a drinking game, okay, I'm not a drinker, but like, I think in these terms, which is kind of funny. So if I was doing a drinking game, or you were doing a drinking game, watching me do something like this, it would be like, how many times Jen changed her mind? Like, how drunk would you be? If every time I changed my mind on what I was doing. So I think there is aspects of us, right? There is the visionary, right? Which is, I got this in my mind and I got to get this out. And I take this from Lee Harris. He says, there's the visionary, the architect, and the builder. And some people just have a higher amount of one of those aspects, or like only one of those aspects. And I definitely am a visionary, right? Like, all right, this is what I'm seeing and this is what we're going to do. But then my architect comes in and it's like, maybe we're going to, tweak something here. And then my builder's like, okay, we're changing the plans. I'm just doing what you're telling me to do. So my builder gets it done. The builder of me is definitely like the doer, right? I got this do aspect. I didn't do a jerk string. If you are an experienced broom maker, how many times do you forget a jerk string? All right, which way do I want my beads to hang? Do I want my beads to hang this way, or do I want my beads that way? Basically, it's what am I going to consider my front? I think I'm going to go with this for my front this time. And now, I did make that first one so I could tuck in my hangers. So I don't have, sometimes I just do it loose enough where I can get this under when I'm remembering it. Other times, just put your jerk string wherever you remember it. But if you remember it near the top, you are going to have to wind a couple more times, okay, to make sure it's secure. Should this be 13? I'm just thinking. Okay, so we did 1. With our tie. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 3 more, come on. 1. 2. So the third one would be our tie off for our 13th. Could I be spell working when I'm doing all this? Yes, yes I can. Nodding in my intentions. Okay. Leaving some for spell work. Moving elastic up a little bit. All right, we're going to put that back on in a moment, or cut it right off. You want to make sure your jerk string is not getting caught up in there, and mine was. Okay, so Cancer, Moon, I'm actually going to put them where you see the Cancer first, and then the Moon's hidden behind it. I like that. I think the heat is getting to me. It's not even hot yet. I meant to turn a fan on. All right, so here's my little heat wave tip that I got off of Reels the other day, was that over 90 degrees, the fan is actually detrimental in some ways, as in you think you're cooling off. Oh no, the moon, the string on the moon. Do, 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 do. Okay. There was a point. This is number 18 twine. Okay, 18 twine. Keep that in mind. This is probably like a 1 millimeter hole. You want a 2 millimeter hole. So guess is what's not happening yet. Or, so things we could do. What can we do? We could fray this all the way down to the top, I guess, and then just use a single one for my moon. I remember, we need to remember when we do the jerk string to get all of that in the loop. So we have our moon. We're going to use both for the Cancer. Why is Cancer, like the Cancer, the illness, Cancer, the disease called Cancer? Like, is it relationship to the Cancer, which though Cancer is something that's usually hidden inside of us? I don't know. Thoughts? I don't know if I really want to go deep thoughts there. Alrighty. So we got our loop for the jerk string. We're putting in all 3 of those strands in. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Put it where you're not going to get it on your broomcorn. And my jerk string. My knot came out. You not. How much damage? Okay, a little loosey-goosey. So you can move that a bit right now. I like to see where I want it to hang, and then I'm going to knot it right underneath there so nothing ever, it doesn't move again. And you can do it different ways. Like, there's different ways. I'm not going into all the, did I get all my elastics out? I think so. Drop my hanger down. Still have this elastic all tangled around it. Also part of the drinking game is how many times just do I drop something? All right, let's get this cut. I have my new little play toy, the PVC cutter. And I want this up more. Keep it in all in tight. too much. Not sure if I'm loving it. New choice. It's better in my hands than the clippers were when I was doing this. I like it. So it's all this color. You see the color? I like the color. Okay. Hee hee hee. All right, I'm in love. Of course I am. I made it. I'm going to cut my little wispy here. All right, so you can get rid of this if you want to. I like it for Not Magic. Here is the front. So we have the blue, we have the red, and then we have the back, which is the jump side. And then you see just a little, the hints, right? The hints of the inner self. All right, the hard exterior, the hints of the inner self. Okay, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. If you do want to see this when it is live, make sure you follow any links to the Broom Closet. That is my private Facebook group where, you know, get a little bit more tips and tricks and different things. If you are wanting to learn in a more structured kind of learning, go over to the Broom Witch Academy. And I hope you really weren't playing any drinking games because, woof. All right, my friends, if you're seeing this before or near the 4th of July, have a wonderful 4th of July. If you're just seeing this randomly during the Cancer season of Cancer, enjoy the beginning of your summer. Check out your own charts to see where Cancer is and what falls in your 4th house. All right, have a great day. Bye.